think it's a smart move from Australia, giving him opportunity.
What's the situation with Ashwin? Because he's the second spin bowling option, isn't he? Unless you want to go in with the leggy Sangha, but he's not in the first 15. Oh, lovely timing. There'll only be a single, but a good way to get out the mark.
Ashwin has returned home in the recent South African series for the birth of his first child. So I think he's not far away from being on the way. I think Glenn Maxwell also had the birth of his first child 10 days ago, and he looks like he's on his way over as well. So yeah, Ashwin is an important member of this squad because one, he gives you that second spin option, and I'd imagine as the tournament goes on, we'll need two spinners.
I know the expression Dad's Army means something completely different, but there's a few young dads in this Australian side now.
Yeah, there is, and that's, you got the skipper who's just recently had a baby. You've got David Warner who's got 3, Steve Smith, now he's yet to have kids. Josh Inglis recently, a new father, Ashwin. Yeah, there's a Glenn Maxwell, there's going to need a big crash on tour.
It's like a big crash on tour indeed. Oh, a shot. It's a shot that is all his own, Shubman Gill. Just gets into that position from where he can play anywhere on the ground, but the timing is just superb.
Success begets success. You know that, and confidence begets confidence. That's exactly where he's at right now. Shubman Gill had the phenomenal start to his ODI career. He's just been playing beautifully for India, and again, just recent success in the Asia Cup. It's just as you said, Harsha, minimum movement, great hands. It's so wonderful to watch. Just as a country and as a team is blessed with such wonderful players. So good on the eye, Rohit Sharma, Shubman Gill, Ruturaj, Gaikwad.
Just having a look at that, the key to that shot there, he hasn't tried to overplay his hand. He hit it the back of his hip. Just have a look here, waited for the ball, he hit it just behind his bat leg and hasn't tried to overplay his hand. Beautiful timing there from Gill.
Is that an indication of calmness and confidence?
It's an indication of class. I think we've seen that over the last 12 months, especially the time he has at the crease. We talk about a lot of the great batsmen of the modern time and the past that had time, and Gill's one of those. We're building into one of those.
Also, you look at him in the last 12 months, as Brad mentioned, Harsha, he always had good hands, but there was always this tendency or this vulnerability against the ball which was coming in. That is something which is worked on with his movement and controlled that bat face ever so nicely. Quick single to finish the over. 2 gone, 13 without loss.
No loss, so Gaikwad 7, Gill 6. He's moved up to number 2 on the ICC rankings now, Shubman Gill, just after Babar Azam. Now Pat Cummins has got 2 slips. Oh, timing! There's something about this man, Shubman Gill.
Wow, that's just all class. Just waited for that ball, once again hasn't tried to overplay his hand, and this is just all timing. You have a look here, sets himself, waits for the ball.
This is gaming. With our free Windows downloadable software, you'll have access to a gaming application where you can play and earn rewards for your gaming achievements. And with an active marketplace, events, new game releases, and community all backed up by the Gaming Gladiators esports team, you'll always be part of something bigger than just a game. So what are you waiting for? Download Gaming now and start winning today. Gaming, no gamer left behind.
a lot of him where he used to play the ball late, not much feet movement. Just look here, minimal movement, plays the ball, the back hip, doesn't try to overplay his hand and just admires the shot. A lot of Lakshman there.
Also, a lot of Lakshman also used to play between mid-off and covers. Apart from playing it between covers and points.
Really had a good spell from Pat Cummins here. Keep moving that World Cup squad. What about that?
Download and solve the
bandaging on
puzzles
his left
now.
hand?
Yeah, he had a fracture that he picked up during the recent Ashes series. If you just have a look here at that,
मोहाली पंजाब
heavily taped. He's been out
बारिश ने भी थोड़ा सा चकमा दिया था। आज बारिश भी हुई थी। जिन दोस्तों को नहीं पता उनको बताना चलूं कि बारिश भी आज के मैच में हुई थी दोस्तों।
just to get back to
तो पहली 4 गेंदों के ऊपर पैट कॉमन्स को 7 रन लग चुके हैं। 5वीं गेंद दौड़ते हुए आए पैट कॉमन्स एक स्लिप के साथ, ऑप्शन से बाहर गेंद और इस गेंद को कट किया। थप्पा खाती हुई गेंद सीधा गली में खड़े फील्डर के पास। रन बनाने का समय नहीं। डॉट गेंद आती हुई ऋतुराज गायकवाड़ के द्वारा 10 गेंदों के ऊपर 9 रन बना रखे ऋतुराज गायकवाड़ ने। एक चौका भी मार रखा है। तीसरे ओवर की आखिरी गेंद बाकी है और इस तीसरे ओवर की आखिरी गेंद का सामना गिल करेंगे भाई साहब। सभी दोस्तों का स्वागत है आज की लाइव स्ट्रीम में। और अगर आप आने वाले मैचेस में, आने वाले वर्ल्ड कप में सभी चीजों में हमारे साथ जुड़ना चाहते हैं भाई साहब, फिर सब्सक्राइब वाले बटन पर थोड़ा प्यार दिखाता है। आखिरी गेंद लेकर आए, अंपायर क्रॉस किया इस आखिरी गेंद के लिए। ऑप्शन से बाहर गेंद थोड़ा एक्स्ट्रा बाउंस ले रही थी। बहुत ही बढ़िया टाइमिंग थी इस बार ऋतुराज गायकवाड़ के द्वारा, लेकिन भाई साहब इस बार गैप नहीं मिल पाया और कवर पर खड़े फील्डर ने, जो कि मार्नस लंबिशाने थे, उन्होंने गेंद
Good stop. Very good stop. Shubman Gill is such a treat to the eyes, but I'll tell you this, man, if he does get going, this might be early days yet, but if he does get going, he can give you a lot of pleasure too, Gaikwad.
That's why I said all these batters are such delights to watch. We saw him in action during the IPL.
गेंदबाजी करते हुए दिखते हैं, पर आज के मुकाबले पर दूसरा ओवर नई गेंद ही ने थमाई गई है। 3.1 ओवर पे भारत 20 रन है। ओवर की दूसरी गेंद आती हुई स्टोइनिस के इस ओवर की सामने बल्लेबाजी पे है शुभमन गिल। तो आज ऑस्ट्रेलिया की तरफ से डेविड वार्नर ने ही एकमात्र अर्धशतक लगाया था और इसी बीच अगली गेंद पे बड़ा शॉट मिड विकेट के ऊपर से, स्क्वायर लेग के ऊपर से गेंद को खेल दिया है छक्के के लिए। शानदार छक्का शुभमन गिल के बल्ले से। बहुत ही लाजवाब 6 रन आता हुआ शुभमन गिल के बल्ले से। 3.2 ओवर पे भारत 26 रन बिना किसी विकेट के नुकसान पर। तीसरी गेंद आ रही है स्टोइनिस के इस ओवर की सामने शुभमन गिल। ये अच्छी गेंद थी, हल्के हाथों से इस गेंद को खेला मिड ऑफ की तरफ, कोई रन लेने का मौका नहीं। तो बहुत ही बेहतरीन छक्का भी जड़ा है शुभमन गिल ने। 2 युवा, 2 टैलेंटेड खिलाड़ी इस वक्त क्रीज पे मौजूद हैं।
I think we need these 5 rounds. I think we've experienced attacking. We've obviously got the start.
अगली गेंद और एक और चौका।
Been outstanding this form of the game for some time, but
इस बार शानदार कवर ड्राइव लगा करके 4 रन प्राप्त करते हुए शुभमन गिल। बहुत ही शानदार चौका था हुआ।
yeah, we're witnessing something special here. Marcus Stewart is just angled into the pads. Look at this. Solid base. Hasn't moved. He admired the shot. It's just scary times here for the Australians.
He has gone 90 meters and Sometimes when you see a 90-meter six, you see a lot of heaving into the shot. This was almost politely played.
Yeah, it is effortless power. Timing, skill, great position as Brad mentioned. In all the success he's had recently, just look at the eyes. He's watching it hit the bat. He knows exactly what he's doing. Yeah, a special player.
And another one, you go fuller, he'll go through cover, you go short, he'll go over mid-wicket. Stop what you're doing, I don't know how long this is going to last. But at the moment, this is like being in an art gallery with a master. Just stand and admire.
Yeah, and that's all you can do. It's a bit over-pitched there by Marcus Storm. It's another beautiful shot there from Gill. Look at this, full face of the bat. Big step into the line of the ball. That is just a perfect cover drive for anyone watching at home.
And I know Harsha doesn't enjoy too much of golfing terminologies, but when people hit it like that as crisply, it's called a stripe show. And that is exactly what's happening. Hitting the middle of the bat.
I've always wondered, when you've got an object as beautiful as a cricket bat, why would you want to talk about a golf club?
Because the bat's bigger and the golf club is smaller.
Like all good batsmen, he knows when to take the single and rotate the strike. He's waiting for the fifth ball on this occasion. Yeah, the other thing with VVS Lakshman, when he hit the ball, because he's a man of such calmness and demeanor, beautiful demeanor about him, you almost wondered if he was being so polite as if to tell the ball, if you don't mind, can you go past cover this one, please? And I see a similar economy of movement from Gill. 4 fours and a 6 so far. It's a good start so far. 4 gone, 31 for Dollar. Shubman Gill of 1,074 runs at 71.6 this year. Sri Lanka's Pathum Nisanka has had a good year too. Babar Azam always has a good year. And then the Zimbabwean Sean Williamson, Daryl Mitchell is always there for New Zealand.
What I found interesting from last over, from Marcus Stoinis, is he did the right thing there and tried to get the ball nice and tight into Gill's hip. That one there, he's in a couple of boundaries, square of the wicket, then all of a sudden into his hip, done the right thing, and just smack choke square leg for 6.
I understand the last two have still gone to the fielder, but it's just that crispness of hitting. Every time he hits the ball, it seems as if he's hitting the middle of the bat. It could go to the fielder, but he's still hitting the middle of the bat. And that tells you that he's getting into great positions, he's in good form, and he's watching it very, very closely.
Versus pace average is 59. Another of a breed of young players who are a little more comfortable with pace than against a turning ball. I think that bat has been tuned so well. It's almost like a musician playing, saying, I've tuned it well. These bats only have middles, don't they?
Well, Gills does at the moment. I'm interested to see how far Cameron Green's away. He's a point of difference in his bowling attack tonight with his height. And that maybe with the new ball, you might get a little bit off the seam. He hits the wicket a lot harder. We've seen at times a little bit of inconsistent bounce.
He's also probably quicker than either Abbott or Stoinis.
It'll also be interesting to see how quickly they bring Zampa on. Zampa has had some success against Indian batters. You look at all the matchups which Zampa has had with different batters, he's managed to get them a couple of times, or if not more. So it'll be interesting to see how quickly or when the skipper decides to bring him on.
It's a fair point you make. I was going to ask Brad about that when he talked about all the key players. Maybe in the next over, maybe this Zampa needs a dose of confidence. They went after him a little bit in South Africa. It's never going to be easy coming back from none for 113. It's just that he's been so successful before that you back him to bounce back, but none for 113 should hurt. Good over so far, only 2 of it. It's a good over from Pat Cummins. 33 for no loss.
For neck pain and headaches, I love this wheel. It melts away the tension, and you can take it anywhere because it's only 4 inches. Tiny.
4 inches isn't that tiny, honey.
Yum! Where'd you get this?
मैंने बनाया है, वो भी सुबह जल्दी उठ के.
Really?
Yeah.
पनीर टिक्का रहा सुबह जल्दी उठ के.
परसों से प्यार जताने का तरीका. Haldiram's.
So Brad, hadn't the expected bowling changes come about, but not what you thought?
Yeah, Sean Abbott's been brought into this team for something different. He's a wicket-taking bowler. Yes, he can bowl well with the new ball, but one of his biggest roles, I think, during this World Cup, if he gets the opportunity, is to bowl the tough overs, is to bowl the death, use his change-ups. He's grown over the last few years in that role with New South Wales and the Sydney Sixers. So expect to see a lot of change-ups here from Sean Abbott.
Great shot of the moon. We feel a little oneness with the moon these days, Brad. Now that we've got our Vikram on it. There's a lander, there's a rover. One of the great moments in our science. India space mission is a fantastic story in itself. It's on the dark side of the moon.
See the buggy?
Oh, on the pads. I thought it might be closer than the bowler suggested. Probably just the angle taking it down the leg side. I probably did a little too much.
Ruturaj Gaikwad himself has hit a few good shots, but it's just gone straight to the fielder. 10 of 16. Gill 23 of 16, and sometimes as a batter at the other end you can get sucked into the way your teammate is going, because you yourself are a good timer and you sometimes want to get on with the act too. So hopefully someone like him takes his time. Yes, he's batting well. 10 of 16, and just a couple of deliveries and you can be up and running too.
It's interesting to Gill, though, that they're bowling with a 6-3 field. We've seen all the success today with the quick bowls bowling at stumps. I wouldn't mind seeing that slip come across into a square leg, tighten your mid-wicket up and go at the stumps. We've seen a little bit of inconsistent bounce as the innings gone on.
Gaikwad saying, put a camera on me too. I think Karthik was making the point, he's a very pretty stroke player too, and at the moment there's a lot of gaps in the field. So it seems from these two, it's a rollicking partnership, this 39 for no loss.
Let's have a look at this ball from Sean Abbott. Just over pitch, but to me it's too much width. He needs to get tight to the stumps, hit that length that's going to hit the top of the stumps, and that'll different for different bowlers. Sean Abbott's a bit shorter, hit that back of the length and make the batsman make a decision off the stump.
he got some support on the dig. He should be looking for 2 and getting those quite easily.
It's a fair point which you made, Brad, off air. All the bowlers who have bowled at the stumps have been better off. There are times on certain wickets where you want the batter to hit the square fielders, but not on this one. It's better off being tight at the stumps and you minimize damage, and in fact, you can be successful. Every time any bowler has bowled slightly wider, they've been taken for runs.
Eight of the over. 6 gone, 41 for dollars. Nice. Lovely evening skyscapes. Gaikwad 16, Gill 24. Already 6 boundaries in this innings. Enjoy this. They said economy of movement. On this occasion, coming all the way down, but most times happy to play from where he is. Lovely to watch at the non-strikers end at the moment. He's coming ball after what, 2 months. Not looking rusty. He's got good rhythm.
And his pace is up too, Paddy. He's bowling around 145. Just having a look at the field here. You've got a slip and a short third man. I'd be entitled to bring the slip across to a square leg, tighten your mid-wicket and cover up and push mid-on and mid-off on the circle and bowl at the stumps. And then if they want to take a risk to hit over the top down the ground, you get a little bit of inconsistency. We've seen David Warner get dropped at mid-on early in his innings.
Actually been talking about the inconsistency or possibly the fact that the ball's kept a bit low compared to what you'd normally expect at Mohali, and this one actually skidded through too.
We've been talking in India about whether it's possible, whether you can find some way of playing Shami, Siraj and Bumrah together. What if Australia can find some way of playing Cummins, Stark and Hazelwood together? Because Cummins is, the difference is Cummins is perfectly capable of batting at 8. So you play Cummins, Stark, Hazelwood together along with Zampa. And then you've got 8, 9, 10, 11, 4 quality bowlers. And then maybe a combination of Stoinis and Agar. And you play a batsman short. Carey's perfectly capable of batting at 6, Agar 7, Cummins 8.
Yeah, half the time you don't want to weaken your bowling, do you? You want to pick your best bowlers, and someone like Stark and Pat Cummins both can use the long handle to good effect. Josh Hazelwood might not be able to play shots, but he's still no mug with the bat. And same for India too. Sometimes you don't want to weaken your bowling to strengthen your batting. You would expect your strong batters to deliver, just like you would expect your bowlers to deliver.
Yeah, all you want in your bowling lineup is options, and I think when Hardik Pandya comes back into the team, I think he's the most important player in India because he gives you what you want in your bowling lineup is options, and I think
7 gone. 43 for no loss.
With Lemonade Health, I can order my erectile dysfunction medication from anywhere, right from my phone. It's discreet, fast, and affordable. Plus, it gets shipped right to my front door. Because after all, some things are just better at home. Visit lemonadehealth.com.
Fee-free overdrafts. Easy credit building. When your money is good, you feel good. Chime, the #1 most loved banking app.
Cummins 4 overs for 17, but at the other end 3 overs have gone for 25. Stoinis and Abbott. Oh, it's a good ball. Not enough carry to get to the keeper. He's bowling about 126, 130. Average speed is about 130.
He's dropped in pace as he's got older, Sean Abbott. He used to be a little quicker and he used to bowl with a higher action. He's tended to get a little bit more round arm as he's got older and got into his career. And he's used a change of pace more often. He's always had a good bouncer and he's got good slower ball as well, but not quite as quick as he used to be.
So that ball that beat Ruturaj Gaikwad, did something different with it. It wasn't pure seam-up delivery, just trying to take pace off ball, a kind of a leg cutter. Shami was getting movement with the seam-up. The ball was moving laterally, which isn't happening as much. So the ball is now digging deep to find some kind of variation to deceive the batter.
Something I want you to take a look at as well, Mark. Brad hadn't mentioned that Shubman Gill reminded him a bit of VVS Luckman. You were also a player who's very aesthetically, very pleasing to the eye. Shubman is from that category. In your eyes, what's making him special? I mean, just the timing on those two shots for a start.
Well, he's just got time to play his shots. And what he does do, he hits good balls for 4. A bit like Travis Head, actually. Different styles of players. But when you've got players hitting good balls for 4, they're very difficult to bowl to. Now, some of those boundaries were another player would probably just block them as a defensive shot. So he's got the ability to always put pressure on the bowler. Oh, dropped by Inglis. It was a tough one to his right. That did carry. You'll be disappointed it didn't stick in.
Well, this is good bowling. About 129 kilometers per hour. What was Gaikwad trying to do here? Again, you see that breaking the seam there. Is that a genuine outside edge? It would have been a very good catch had he taken it.
Yeah, I think he should have went 2 hands. It wasn't as far away from him as he thought.
Interesting too, while Brad Haddon was here, he was talking about taking the slip out and getting a man out to square leg. It's not quite square leg, it's mid-wicket, but they've done exactly that.
Yeah, maybe the slowness of the pitch. Just a little leg cutter, and Gaikwad was just looking to hit it down the 3rd man. And he probably should have went 2 hands. He's got to be taking that. He'd be disappointed, Inglis. Very disappointed.
Made an over from Sean Abbott. 8 gone, 43 for no loss. Gill's got the strike back.
Yeah, just talking about what makes him so special, Harsha. I think, you know, he keeps very still. You know, there's not a lot of moving parts to his game. You know, you see some batsmen exaggerated backlifts or foot movements. He just keeps it simple, so he's got great balance when he makes contact with the ball, and he can play all the shots. He can play front, back foot, both sides of the wicket. So there's not a lot that can go wrong. If anything, his lack of footwork could hurt him in conditions where the ball's, you know, nipping and bouncing.
And I think this is a good move for Australia, the bowler and the field as well.
Will beat the infield. Doesn't have enough to go. It's Catamount. Gets there. Fielder just about got there. I reckon he had to run about 20-25 meters. They ended up running 4.
Now, when is the last time that's happened on an Indian ground? Batters running 4.
No, not too often. Well, this is the biggest boundary, biggest ground in India.
My guess is 1923.
1923. Well, there's no need to look at it because it's either 4 or it's 4. One of the two.
I mean, even if he has touched, don't tell the batter that, because he just spent a lot of time running up and down.
I want to see him signal 4.
It's better thought for Adam Zampa. He must run 25-30 meters. Just down the leg side, be wide mark. Here's the answer from Mohandas Menon. If it touches the boundary rope, it gets counted as a boundary. How many 4s did he hit? He hit 8 4s. But an all-run 4 apparently doesn't count.
Doesn't make any sense.
I know,
So
but that's what it is.
where it could make sense was the last World Cup in England.
Exactly. If we no longer have boundary countbacks.
4 is 4, isn't it?
A boundary, Sanjay Mohan just informs me, is when it crosses the boundary, it's counted as a boundary hit. This one didn't cross the boundary, so it's 4 runs, but not counted as a boundary.
I guess
Go,
I'll stick to what I know. And what I know is that this is a good move. And, you know, with Shubman Gill on strike, the only way you can keep this guy quiet or, you know, minimize his threat is get him out. And I like the fact that they've got a slip for Cameron Green. And he's a bowler on this pitch. Maybe a small chance that he'll trouble Shubman Gill.
He could, because he will get that extra pace and bounce that other bowlers won't get, because he's 6'8". He's got such a strong action. When he's flowing and bowling well and confident, you know, he can be as quick as anybody on his day. So he's the one bowler who could get a little bit of up and down bounce out of this pitch.
You mentioned VVS Lakshman and Shubman Gill, similar kind of players.
What about this man, Ruturaj Gaikwad? Just like that, 50 comes up. 53 for no loss, 7 boundary hits so far. That is a boundary.
Yeah, the best shot that is played so far, Ruturaj Gaikwad. And then this shot will just set him free. He seemed a little, not as free-flowing as Shubman Gill, who's obviously in great form. That shot should do his confidence a world of good. Now you see the sparkling stroke play of Ruturaj Gaikwad.
It's a bit unfair to compare batsmen to Shubman Gill. Whoever's at the other end is
exactly
most of them aren't going to look as good as Shubman Gill, are they?
So quickly, that point that I was trying to make is Mark Ball. You are very similar to Shubman Gill, because Harsha talked about VS Lakshman. You guys like to stand besides the line of the ball, which meant the ball doesn't need to be too wide outside the off stump for you guys to punch it through point.
Well, that's what I was saying about Shubman Gill. He hits good balls for 4, and that's one of the reasons that it doesn't have to be too wide.
And that'll be more runs, but there's a fielder there. So they'll keep it down to 2. And it's very, very well run by Ruturaj Gaikwad. 12 came off the over. It's 55 for no loss.
यार तुम हमेशा अपना भुजिया इतना जल्दी कैसे खत्म करते हो?
तुम कभी शेयर क्यों नहीं करती हो?
किया तो था दिल्ली में मार्च 2012।
सीरियसली 2012 मार्च?
उनके दिमाग में खलल लगता। अच्छा ले लो। वैसे मानना पड़ेगा आज मैंने तुम्हें अमेरिका में दिल्ली वाली फील दी थी, है ना?
परसों से प्यार जताने का तरीका हल्दीराम्स।
There are a couple of tall buildings up there. Whereas India start off very confidently in that pursuit of 276. We've already seen 4 bowlers. Here's an interesting one for you, Mark. Cameron Green, Marcus Stoinis. There's a chance if Australia want to play Hazelwood, Stark and Cummins together and then play Agar and Zampa, if you could only have place for one of them. Is Green more a bowler than Stoinis?
Well, I would say that Green, say you're talking red ball cricket, test match cricket, Green would be more chance of getting a 5 wickets than Marcus Stoinis. But in one-day cricket, sometimes it's more about change-ups and the batsman's often going at you, so sometimes the change-ups are more effective. Yeah, it's a tricky one, that one. I think Green's a better bowler, out-and-out better bowler. And how's the balance of the team? Like, Cameron Green could actually open the batting. You know, we've seen it in T20 cricket, so he's an option there. But I think it's a good situation to be in where you've got a lot of depth in certain areas of your team and a lot of all-rounders Australia. But it's just going to depend on the balance, how many out-and-out quick bowlers you play, how many spinners you want to play.
Abbott's previous over was a maiden over. So far, 3 singles.
Shubman Gill has another trait which is something that I've seen in exceptional batters. The trigger movement of his feet before the ball is delivered, and he can go from big back foot trigger movement to no movement and get onto the front foot. So when Stoinis was bowling to him, he was very keen to get onto the front foot, so there was no back foot trigger movement. And any batter was able to do that. Just find them destined for exceptional things. Tendulkar to do it, Virat Kohli is another guy who can manage that back foot trigger movement to young batters. Very pleasing to watch. Two right-handers, and they haven't bothered with a left-hand right-hand combination. Kishan was an option. They want him in the middle. Which means we've seen 2 right-handers, very copybook in a way, classical batters, getting India to a good start.
Nice. Very nice, because there wasn't a lot of space between the 2 fielders on the offside. And he found the gap quite surgically.
Yeah, great shot. And just watching those highlights, I've just noticed how cleanly both batsmen have hit the ball. They've actually hit a lot of balls to the fieldsman as well, so that could be a lot further advanced the Indian score. Australia fielded pretty well, but just the timing on that. This new ball's really flying off the bat. Australia's real chance to peg the run rate back is going to be when this ball gets a bit softer, and it mightn't be as easy to hit those boundaries.
And another one, this time off the back foot. Take your pick. Front foot or back. 66 for no loss.
With Lemonade Health, I can order my erectile dysfunction medication from anywhere, right from my phone. It's discreet, fast, and affordable. Plus, it gets shipped right to my front door. Because after all, some things are just better at home. Visit lemonadehealth.com.
When these business owners need cash fast, they turn to Biz2 Credit. From new equipment to funds to expand, Biz2 Credit is the place to get your small business funding. Get approved in as fast as 24 hours. Go to biz2credit.com/fastcash. Biz2 Credit. Funding what's next.